It's about to go down, guys. Look what we got in here. Catfish noodles. Taking out a lot of my bass stuff because this evening I'm gonna go run some catfish jugs that my good friend gave me. Try to fill up my freezer with some good old catfish. Gonna bring a little bit of bass gear in case the catfish bite ain't on, or these jugs don't work right, or my bait don't work right. Still got stuff in the car from the last trip. Need that, this, and this, and this, and this. Don't want to forget these. Oh my gosh. We are way above pool now with all this rain. I haven't been out here in a while. Normally these rocks you can see for 7 feet out from the bank. Well, I only have a couple of hours, guys, so I gotta make do with the time I have. We're either gonna catch something quick or we're not gonna catch anything, and that's gonna be the end of this video. We'll see. Hello. I opened the toolbox earlier. 0 smells. Ooh, I got some shats in. I might bring that too. This, I think that ought to do it. All right, guys, let's get on the water. Golf ball. These guys float all the way across the lake because there's a practice range in a neighborhood across the lake that they hit these balls into the water. They float. But apparently there's a lot of people that still need a lot of practice because they're not hitting it inside the boundaries. Kablook. All right, guys, we're on the water. First thing we're going to do is rig up our floats, and then we'll go do a little bass fishing while the floats are doing their job. The bait of choice, and the only bait I had and never tried, is this Bradley's catfish bubblegum. It's catfish bait that really doesn't stink, and it's bubblegum colored. Here it is. Yeah, it really doesn't stink, but I think it's like made out of pancake batter. So I've never used it before. I got traditional plain catfish hooks on those jugs that my buddy gave me. Hopefully this stuff stays on. We will see. And we'll come back now that we got water underneath the docks, some deeper water. Maybe we got some fish up shallow. Maybe I can catch a bass. I'm not opposed to throwing a bass or two in the cooler either. I don't have much time, so gotta make the most of it. I have 7 jugs, I believe. I'll have to recount, so that's not too much to keep up with, I don't believe. The main concern again is this bait. Whether or not it's gonna stay on the plain style hook. Probably should have used the trebles with the springs on them, but we'll see. Have any of you guys ever used this catfish bubblegum? All right, this looks about good. There's a jug, has the weight inside of it, so it lays flat, you get a bite. Weight falls down, you know you got a fish on, or at least you got bit in that particular area where you set the jug. For those of you that didn't know how these kind of jugs worked, there you go. The hook I'm talking about. Yeah, it really is almost like bubblegum. I'm gonna do it like that. Feels like it's like a dough bait, but it feels actually a little stickier. Drop it down. I don't even know how much this stuff costs. My wife actually won this in a neighborhood raffle. I won a catfish fishing rod and 2 things of this stuff and some fish stringers and stoppers and bobbers, and it's pretty cool. But the real question is, does it catch catfish? Or can Big Bass Tony catch catfish? Because I am not a cat fisherman. Here lately I haven't been a bass fisherman either. Originally in this video I was going to make my own catfish jugs out of just some water bottles and some foam. My good friend said, hey, you ain't got to do all that, Tony. I got some that I ain't used in years. So thank you, sir. All right, that's it for the catfish jugs. Hopefully nobody steals them. The claims are true. This stuff doesn't stink. I got it on my hands and I'm not projectile vomiting. All right, jugs are set. It's about 1 o'clock. We got till about 3:30. Let's go do a little bass fishing. Oh, I just had a bite, didn't even know. I was talking and not even paying attention. Taking off, but it was a brim because it was tap, tap, tap-a-rooing it. I just got bit again. Got all kinds of brim sitting up here. All kinds. Man, the brim are biting like crazy. It's almost every cast. Oh, just got Bit again. Just got bit again. Come on, buddy. Are you a bass? Y'all hungry, huh? Yeah, I see that deer back there. Psst. It's pretty cool. Come in here. Well, that wasn't a brim. That there's a small bass. Oh my gosh, you are feisty. Look at you. Calm down. Jeez, he was going nuts when I was holding him by the body. Little guy, about 12 inches. Little guy. There's our deer friend again, little Spike. Look at that, guys. Ain't that beautiful? A lot of people complain about the deer in the neighborhood, but I just think they're awesome. They eat people's plants. I can see how it'd be aggravating, but I just don't put out any plants. All right, well, we got one. Wasn't big enough to keep. Wasn't big enough to help me in the tournament. Was only big enough to put a smile on my face. I don't know, guys. This may be an unproductive day. Sure feels nice out here, though. Well, some big news coming up. I do plan on making a trip down to Mariner Cells, or up to Mariner Cells, rather, to potentially pick up the 2019 Hobie PA-17 or the Compass Duo. The Compass Duo interests me because of its smaller size. However, PA-17 is just awesome. And I had talked about doing this before, but it didn't quite fall through with the PA-17, but things are looking like it could happen. I think I could really make some cool videos for you guys. Bring the dog, bring the wife, maybe set up a camera in the back, kind of like you would a bass boat. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys want to see out of those two options. That's what Mariner's trying to promote. Let's see if we can catch some fish. We got one standing up. I don't know if anything's on it. Nope. I guess it got bit. I didn't take it. Got bit, but that was a brim. That ought to be a fish right there. Because it's usually a... Oh, dang it. Well, that was a bite and that was a bass. For some reason, I didn't get him. I literally set the hook right by the boat. That fish didn't even know I was here. Golly, man. These brim are relentless. Okay, finally a fish, guys. Bass is long and skinny. I don't know if it'll make 16 inches, but we'll see. Been biting it so weird. It's like when they do bite it, they hit it pretty good. This fish is 16 inches long, which is the requirement to keep on Lake Conroe. You can keep bass. This bass is 16 inches. I'm going to keep it. I'd appreciate it if you don't thumbs down my video keeping a bass. It is completely legal. I do eat the fish every now and then. Not all the time. Actually, I wouldn't even say often. Let's see if it's 16 inches. 16 inches right on the dot. Put them in the cooler. You know, I've got some videos. I've kept bass before and people have disliked the video. And you know, you really got to put things in perspective. If you take a bass boat, for example, bass boats in a tournament, they put their fish in a live well. A lot of times they don't make it, especially during the summertime. During the spawn, they remove that fish from the bed, stress out the female, and maybe she doesn't have a productive lay. Whatever the case may be, me keeping my 2 bass, you know, every 4 months maybe, if that even, is a small speck in comparison to, I think, a lot of the damage that is being done by bass boats. I believe bass boats should adopt a CPR style approach to their weigh-ins. You know, have somebody on the boat, and some of them are leaning toward that way where they do a live weigh-in, which I think that's good. It puts the fish right back in the water then, and that fish has a higher chance of surviving, much higher. And like I said, especially during the spawn. You guys do me a favor and don't hate me that I got a bass in the cooler. Back to fishing. Y'all don't hate. I knew I was getting some bluegill bites. Jeez, that's a big one. I'm gonna throw him in the cooler too. So, not much of a haul, but that's gonna have to work. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed coming out on the water with me. Sometimes you catch fish, sometimes you don't, but it sure is fun trying, ain't it? Trying to post videos a couple times a week, guys, so you guys subscribe, stay tuned, and see you on the next episode. Come on.